Good morning, everybody. We are starting with a consumer alert. If you're looking to buy a small SUV, you should know this. Most of them fail the latest safety test. The upgraded review highlights that the danger has moved from the driver's seat to the passengers in the back. Now, CBS's Errol Burnett reports.
For the first time, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is testing how safe it is to be in the rear seat, and says the results are disappointing.
Out of the 15 small SUVs that we tested in this initial round, 9 of those got a poor rating.
All the vehicles tested here had previously earned a good rating, but 2 of the year's best-selling small SUVs, the Honda CR-V and Hyundai Tucson, are among those with a failing grade, while the Ford Escape and Volvo XC40 were the only 2 to earn the highest rating.
Relative to the front seat, your risk of being injured in the back seat is about 46% greater.
The president of IIHS tells CBS News the lack of auto tightening and loosening capability for rear seatbelts poses the greatest risk.
It really is the belt technology that we need to change in order to make everyone safe in the vehicle.
Now, these findings may be jarring, and that's the point. Harkey says these cars are safe, but he wants this to serve as a wake-up call to manufacturers to improve rear seat safety after they've done so much over the past few decades to improve safety up front. And it's a good reminder for everyone. You have to buckle up no matter where you sit in a moving vehicle to access any of these safety benefits. Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
All right, now this is a possible game changer for energy production, fusion. For the first time, scientists have achieved a net gain in energy. As Michael George reports, they hope to one day harness the energy source of the stars to help save the planet below.
Science fiction is one step closer to reality. The Energy Department announced a breakthrough in the decades-long quest for nuclear fusion.
Scientists at the National Ignition Facility achieved fusion ignition, and that is creating more energy from fusion reactions than the energy used to start the process.
Fusion is the energy that powers the sun and stars. It works by pressing hydrogen atoms into each other with such force that they make helium and release enormous amounts of energy and heat. The technology has been around since the hydrogen bomb, but it's extremely hot and incredibly difficult to control, possibly until now.
If we can advance fusion energy, we could use it to produce clean electricity, transportation fuels, power heavy industry, so much more.
Scientists are still likely decades away from scaling this energy to power our grids, but this laboratory first is a first step towards clean energy.
Just remember, fusion power has no nuclear waste to speak of, no meltdowns to worry about.
Current nuclear power plants use fission, which breaks apart atoms to create energy. Even though it's not burning fossil fuel, they create radioactive waste, and reactor meltdowns can harm humans and the environment. Fusion could change all that.
We're long overdue to have converted something so destructive that finally it could be used for a peaceful purpose in the service of civilization.
And help make reliance on fossil fuels a thing of the past. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
U.S. officials say the breakthrough will also pave the way for advancements in national defense. Now, here's an urgent health warning this morning, especially for parents flying with children during the holiday season. About 1 in every 600 flights in the U.S. has a medical emergency. Now, a group of doctors is sounding the alarm about inadequate airline medical kits. CBS's Omar Villafranca has more on that.
Matt Lubtack was flying with his 11-year-old daughter Sophia when her eyes started swelling and her airway began to close.
It's obviously a clear allergic reaction to something.
Right. Nothing that I have seen with her in the past. I knew an EpiPen was what I needed. The flight attendant tells me we don't have those.
Commercial airlines are required by the FAA to carry emergency medical kits, which include epinephrine to treat allergic reactions. But they aren't required to have it in pre-measured doses that are easy to administer using a device like an EpiPen.
And all I kept thinking of is I'm going to lose my daughter.
Luckily, a doctor on board was able to measure the correct pediatric dose of epinephrine from the kit, and Sophia survived.
I would never want another parent to go through that feeling of this could be it.
In 2019, the Aerospace Medical Association, which advises the FAA, along with the American Academy of Pediatrics, recommended the kits carry additional items, including electronic blood pressure cuffs, auto-injectors for epinephrine, and pediatric doses of epinephrine, antihistamines, and pain relievers. Dr. Brian Moore advised on the recommendations.
These are very small changes that could make the difference in the life and death of the child.
The FAA told CBS News it is currently reviewing the emergency medical kit requirements. Making changes would require a rulemaking process. CBS News reached out to 7 major U.S. airlines, and they all said their medical kits comply with FAA requirements. Omar Villafranca, CBS News.
It's not just cold and flu season for us. Canine flu and other viruses that make dogs sick are also spreading. Bradley Blackburn has more on what pet owners need to know.
Jason Smith boarded his pets over Thanksgiving.
I was very surprised that all 3 dogs had flu symptoms within 24 hours of getting back from the kennel.
Like people, pets are also dealing with viruses right now that can make them sick. There's canine influenza and pneumovirus.
Most dogs will experience 10 to 14 days of runny nose and coughing, but there is a significant subset of those dogs that will progress to pneumonia that can be very life-threatening.
Some animal shelters have had to suspend dog adoptions because of flu or pneumovirus cases, like Pinellas County Animal Services in Florida.
So it's once it starts spreading, it just goes.
Dr. Cinda Crawford is with the University of Florida's College of Veterinary Medicine. She says the message is the same for sick pets as it is for sick people.
Limit their activity so that they can get some rest. Confine them at home because whatever's causing their cold is likely contagious to other dogs.
While there is no vaccine for pneumovirus, there is a canine influenza vaccine. So if you're planning to board your dogs over Christmas, now is the time to get the vaccination.
The timing is so important because their antibody production is what needs to build up.
Jason is grateful his dogs are feeling better.
Monday and Tuesday got really bad, and I got real worried that Fiona might be getting pneumonia. But she perked up the next day.
Dog owners should always be on the lookout for warning signs. If your dog stops eating or has difficulty breathing, contact your veterinarian. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
And getting your dog vaccinated for canine influenza may not prevent an infection altogether, but it may reduce the severity and duration of the illness. That's according to the American Veterinary Medical Association. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Therapists and their patients are dealing with a nationwide shortage of Adderall, one of the best known treatments for ADHD. According to national data, Adderall prescriptions for adults jumped 15% from 2020 to 2021. Some experts blame the shortage on the explosion of online mental health providers that diagnose cases and then prescribe a lot of medication. One of those online platforms, Cerebral, has been the focus of an ongoing CBS News investigation, and earlier this year it was the subject of a Justice Department probe. Anna Warner has more on that.
I learned the reasons behind habits I've had my whole life.
If you spent any time on TikTok over the pandemic, you probably came across ads like these.
I had no idea this was caused by undiagnosed ADHD.
Mental health companies offering fast, affordable treatment for ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, completely online. One of the biggest companies is called Cerebral.
Cerebral provides a discreet, judgment-free way to be screened for ADHD.
Often that treatment came with a prescription for a frequently used medication, Adderall, a controlled substance tightly regulated by the Drug Enforcement Administration because it carries a high potential for abuse.
Adderall is an amphetamine. It's a highly addictive drug.
Dr. Andrew Kolodny is a prescribing expert.
These are dangerous drugs that are controlled for a good reason.
Prior to the pandemic, a law called the Ryan-Haight Act required medical professionals to see patients in person before prescribing any controlled substance. But the law was temporarily lifted due to the pandemic, meaning those drugs can now be prescribed through online appointments. And online companies, including Cerebral, have urged the government to drop that in-person visit requirement permanently, something Dr. Kolodny sees as risky.
Without the requirement for a face-to-face visit, you can see businesses take advantage of the ease in which these drugs can be prescribed.
The potential for abuse is just too high if it's just online.
That's correct.
I come here daily.
Kelly Rasmussen of Tacoma, Washington says she's seen that firsthand. Her 21-year-old son, Elijah Hansen, was prescribed Adderall by Cerebral. When did you first find out that he had gone to Cerebral?
I did not even know he went to Cerebral until after I found a pill bottle.
Elijah had struggled with mental health issues for years, for which he was taking prescription medication. But his younger brother Ethan says in the past, he and Elijah had also abused Adderall. And this year, Ethan says, Elijah told him he'd found a way of getting more Adderall through Cerebral.
He lied and said he had ADHD.
Even though medical records show Elijah had never previously been diagnosed with ADHD, Cerebral records show he claimed to one of their prescribers in February that he wanted help for that disorder. That prescriber declined to give him a stimulant, deeming him a risk to prescribe a controlled substance. So he tried again in April. This time, a different Cerebral prescriber gave him the Adderall. Your brother said that he lied.
Right.
And told them that he had something else, ADHD?
ADHD, yeah. And
to get the Adderall.
Get the Adderall, right.
In an interview this June, Cerebral CEO Dr. David Moe defended the company's prescribing practices.
We have really, really good clinical outcomes when it comes to depression and anxiety and PTSD and ADHD and even serious mental illnesses such as bipolar disorder.
But in this letter last month, obtained by CBS News, Moe's predecessor, Cerebral founder Kyle Robertson, removed by Cerebral's board earlier this year, claims some of the company's leading investors pushed for increased prescriptions for drugs like Adderall. He says one board member told him, the easier you make it for people to get stimulants, the better for the business and its customers. The company told us Robertson's allegations are categorically untrue. As for Elijah Hansen, records show his family doctor continued his Adderall prescription, relying on the ADHD diagnosis made by Cerebral.
You could definitely tell he was taking way too much, and he wasn't in his right mind at all.
On June 25th, his mother returned home from an errand to an inconceivable sight. Elijah lying dead on the kitchen floor. He'd found a gun kept in the house and recorded himself playing Russian roulette.
I came home and he was gone.
I can't imagine what that was like.
Yeah, every day is a struggle. I'm angry that this online platform just thinks that handing out these medications to people is okay, because it's not.
If you or someone you know is seeking mental health resources, you can call the National Alliance on Mental Illness helpline at 1-800-950-6264, or in a crisis, text helpline to 62640. Cerebral said it could not comment on specific patients' cases. In a statement, it told us it has robust systems to detect and intervene when it suspects drug-seeking behavior. The company also says it has stopped prescribing controlled substances and to date has not been accused by regulators of any wrongdoing or violation of law. Anna Werner, CBS News, New York.
All right, when it has to get there, you better send it now. That story is next on Mid-Morning. All right, we're back, everyone. There are just a few shopping days to go before Christmas, and if you want those gifts to get where they're going, you're running out of time to order online. The first big holiday shipping deadline is this week. Chris Van Cleve is at a FedEx sorting center outside Memphis, where lots of packages are being delivered every day.
That is the sound of the holidays. Plane after plane touching down at the FedEx Mega Hub in Memphis, each carrying around 20,000 packages.
There's not a lot of slow that happens here. Not a lot of lingering.
We're on the tarmac with Senior Operations Manager Walter Kirkemind.
We understand that some of these gifts are highly personal and really the brand is on the line.
Over the course of the day, about 2.4 million packages pass through here. A gift-size amazing race against the clock. They're sorted via 44 miles of conveyor belts before being loaded onto another set of planes bound for their final destinations. All in about 3 hours.
For the excess capacity that Santa doesn't have on the sleigh, we're helping drop it off with our purple-tailed airplanes.
Your relocate to gate 124 is approved. Advise when you're in the gate.
Overnight, the Memphis airport turns into one of the busiest airfields in the world. About 250 flights come and go every 24 hours.
Right now, it looks like we have about 10 in range.
From this FedEx airport tower, Maria Bonds has to find a place to park all those planes.
We make sure that these aircraft go where they need to go in a timely manner. And we are the Santa with the purple tail.
If you're Santa with the purple tail, what does that make you?
An elf.
An elf?
An elf.
This command center is a bit like NORAD for packages, tracking all the FedEx flights.
We're looking at the weather every 10 minutes to figure out if it's something we need to deviate our planes.
538, that's me, that's you.
But there's no deviating drivers like Jacob Tucker. Before sunrise, packages are loaded into delivery vans headed for you.
Just like Santa's little helper, I feel like I'm able to give to the customer before the holiday season. Today is the first of the major shipping deadlines. This is the last day to send something by FedEx Ground and guaranteed have it there by Christmas. On Saturday, that is your first class mail cutoff, and Monday is the priority mail deadline. After that, you're talking about pricey overnight options to get things places by Christmas. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Memphis.
A Virginia family goes all out for Christmas, and neighbors say you cannot miss the house when driving by at night. The home in Gretna is covered in more than 30,000 Christmas lights. This is in Virginia. Gretna is south of Lynchburg. In 2015, homeowner Mike Clay said he was inspired by, what else? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation to go all out on the decorating. Clay decorates the home completely by himself, he says, and adds more lights every year. His light bill goes up around $100 a month, but he says it's all worth it. The happy smiles. All right, when we come back, a trip to see Santa on the coast, plus more fun at the Mississippi Aquarium when we come back.
Welcome back to Mid-Morning, everyone. Lots of families out there are planning special activities for the holidays and getting out and seeing some of the sights around. One thing that you may not think about is the aquarium during the winter months, but the Mississippi Aquarium has lots of activities going on, and the communications director for the aquarium is joining us this morning. Jeff, so great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I always look forward to talking with you and speaking with my friends in North Mississippi. And congratulations on being the Grand Marshal of the Christmas Parade. That's amazing, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. It was quite a treat. So you and I have talked in the past about things going on at the aquarium, and typically it's been during the warmer months, but the doors are open and the activities are happening for Christmas, right?
Absolutely. We are open 364 days a year. In fact, the only day that we are closed is Christmas Day.
Okay.
So we're in full swing for the holidays here. We have a ton of activities that are very unique and very cool for parents and children alike. You know, we have Santa Claus dives in one of our main ocean habitats on the weekend. We have an opportunity for individuals or families to take their holiday photos with a dolphin. We have 4 Atlantic bottlenose dolphins here. Starting this weekend, we're going to have the Long Beach High School Magical Singers. We're going to have Christmas crafts. We're going to have story time, the reading of the Cajun Night Before Christmas around the fire. So, you know, it's not a traditional holiday spot, people would think, but we do have a lot of really great things planned for our guests over the next couple of weeks.
So obviously all these things people can find out about on the website, but in terms of making reservations or doing just walk-ins, how will all that work for these various activities?
You can go online to msaquarium.org and you can find our holiday schedule. Everything's on there. If you want to purchase tickets early, you can do so. You can just come and buy tickets at the gate. We're open from 10 to 5 every day, except Christmas Eve. We'll be closing at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
But Santa, you know, it's getting close to Christmas, so Santa's on a very tight schedule for diving.
Yes.
So he only dives on Saturdays and Sundays, and that's at certain times. You can find all of that online at msaquarium.org. And, you know, you only have this week and next weekend to see him because it's getting so close to Christmas.
The opportunity to have a family photo, your Christmas photo taken with a dolphin, how cool is that?
It's great. You know, we did it last year. We're going to do it again this year, but we did it last year, and our dolphin team works so well with our 4 male dolphins. So one of our team members gets the dolphin to come up to the window, and they basically smile while you and your family are standing there. And mean, you can use it for holiday cards. You can make it into a snow globe, a magnet, whatever. It's a really, really unique and cool thing.
All right. And just aside from the special Christmas activities, the tours are just always great of the wonderful facility here that we have in Mississippi.
Absolutely. And, I was up there last weekend. I mean, that's my home. It's only about a 4.5 hour drive for our friends in North Mississippi to make it down. We have a large, which is where I'm at right now, is in our large oceans exhibit, which is about 30 feet deep. And you have a tunnel where you can go about halfway through the middle of the aquarium. We have both indoor and outdoor exhibits. So it's a really great thing. And it's Mississippi's aquarium. It's your aquarium. So we encourage everyone to come down and see us.
Here's the thing, school will be out for most next week. They'll have about 3 or 4 days before Christmas. It's a great day trip to come down, do that, spend the night, spend some time on the Gulf Coast, come back home and be ready for Christmas.
Absolutely. Our motto now on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and coastal Mississippi is stay an extra day. Come down, stay an extra day with us. All right. Jeff Clark from Mississippi Aquarium. We appreciate it. Give us the website one more time where we can get a rundown of all those activities. Absolutely. That's msaquarium.org. All right. We'll see you soon. Merry Christmas to you, Jeff. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
All right. Be sure you stay connected with us. We love to hear from you. We will see you back here tomorrow.